One, two, three. Can we grab you before you have a coffee for 5 minutes? When was the last time you moved house?
Moved house? I haven't. Well, I'm still at home.
So you haven't moved house?
No.
That's fine.
I bought a place though.
You've bought a place,
Yeah.
but you haven't moved in?
No, it's still being built.
And where have you bought? Is that
And Seaford. So it's like 15 minutes from my place, and it's right on the beach.
There's been a lot of talk about housing affordability for young people. You're a young
Yeah.
person. How did you manage it?
Well, I'm actually 28. So
Young?
Yeah. Actually, for a long time, I couldn't afford to do anything. So I'd studied for a really long time. I studied for 6 years.
What were you studying?
I did a Bachelor of Music, and then I did a Master of Music at the University of Melbourne, and then I went and did a Diploma of Education, and that took a long time. And at the time I was studying so much that I could do a bit of work, but it wasn't enough for me to save enough. And being a music teacher, I wasn't making enough to really, and even if I was saving, it just wasn't enough to put a deposit on a house. And it's been this long, and I work at Toorak College in Mornington, and it's ever since 2013, and ever since then, it's been a few years, but I can finally, it took that long to be able to put something on,
So living at home enabled you to save?
It did actually, it did, and I that's why I stayed at home, because I thought there's no way, like for me, I think renting is dead money, and being an independent person, like I am single, I'm not married, like I don't have children, I kind of feel like I have to be as independent as I can possibly be.
What about on the personal front? You're saying you're single.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds terrible, but I've kind of given up on that, because I was in a relationship for a really long time and it didn't end up working out.
Very long time being how
6
long?
years. And we were going to become engaged, but then it all, that's its own story, it fell apart. But
Through no fault of yours?
you know what? Some people might look at it and be like, it takes two to tango, but I feel like I put a lot of effort into it, and I do think it was really the other person. And I'm still good friends with that person. He's a wonderful person. I still support him from afar. I still respect him as a person. And I think the only thing is, once I left that relationship, I didn't realize how hard it was to find a good person, that someone that respected me and me respected them, and not expect so much. And it just seems so hard to find. I'm not sure why it's so difficult. Like I've been on, this year I actually tried dating, going on lots of dates, and they've been great dates, but they're just not.
How did you go on the dates? Online?
Yeah, so I decided that, because I was so busy with my own life, I guess, and I go to the gym as well, and you can't really meet good people at the gym, because everyone's into themselves. But I did go on a dating site, and I ended up, organising all these great first dates. And I don't really like to use the word date, because it's not really a date. You're just meeting someone. It's like, hi, how are you? And they're great people, and I've realised that I've learned a lot from them. They've educated me. I think they've made me more interesting, because they've taught me certain things that I didn't think about before. And it's made me more confident as well.
Has it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now socially, I feel really comfortable about meeting someone I've never met before, obviously in a safe environment. But
how do you start a conversation?
I don't know. I'm just like, hi, I'm Nicole. But at the end of the day, I went on all these dates, and
Sounds a lot.
it was a lot. I got really tired, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because people look at me and go, what do you mean by exhausted, Nicole? But first dates isn't I had a lot of first dates where I got to meet somebody, and I think emotionally it was quite draining, trying to share. I think I thinned myself out too much between so many people, and so my business and that kind of got forgotten a little bit, because I had, emotionally it's just so hard. But then I got to the end where I realised, I think I had a couple people that I really kind of admired, and they just didn't show, it didn't work out, and it kind of made me go, oh, can I be bothered doing
What
this?
sort
in
of,
the
when you said
moment?
didn't work out, what were the sort of danger signals that you thought, this isn't working out?
Like initially, they seem interested and you seem to have the same values and things like that, or at least maybe I was making excuses. Like I thought they had the same values.
You were hoping it would.
I'm hoping they did have the same values, or like something that I might not really originally like. For them, I make excuse for, and then I realized, well, hang on, I'm starting to get deeper in this, and they're not, and that's when I was kind of like, okay, I need to pull out, because I'm an emotional person, I get attached quite easily.
How did you meet the partner that you
The
stayed
first
with?
one?
Yes.
At the University of Melbourne. So we studied the Bachelor of Music together, and it was great. I mean, we were best friends, and we still, in a way, we still kind of are. But it's just that, the love didn't last.
It didn't work out, but
Yeah.
can you identify the sort of characteristic or personality trait that he had that made it work for so long?
Oh, like what made me attracted to him? I think I just thought that he was like one of the most kindest people I'd ever met. Like he was so supportive of me and how well I was doing, and obviously I was the same for him. And I think that was a really attractive quality, just his kindness. It was just like,
But
I think if anybody had him today, I think they'd be the most luckiest people in the world, I think, to be honest. Yeah.
can you roughly identify what went wrong?
Yeah, all right, why not? Well, basically, I mean, some people might not have a problem with this, but I did. So the last couple of years of our relationship were quite, like he would sleep over a lot, and in that fashion, I'd say, like sexually, it wasn't there at all. And I remember Dr. Phil said that the sex part is 5% of a relationship. If it's not there, it's ruined. And I remember at the time thinking, what's wrong? Like, I don't understand. And then we discussed it, and we find out that he actually was really addicted to pornography. And I think it's based upon his, I think he's discovered he has other personal issues he's never dealt with. And that's another thing something that came up was that the first time he saw pornography was when he was 10. And we would sort of discuss, like, do you think that really affected you at that time? He was only 10, And he was like, yeah, it really frightened him. And I don't know whether it's like led down that road or other issues have come into play. Like, I don't think it has to be pornography. It could have been like gambling or something like that. But it completely ruined our relationship because he didn't want me at all. Like, as in he loved me, but he said that he like physically he didn't need me at all or want me.
But this was towards the end.
Yeah, but that was the last. Yeah.
So not the first few years.
No, not the first few years.
Having met quite a few people dating, do you think you're fussy?
No.
There's nothing wrong with being fussy,
okay,
by the way.
this is the thing. Like, a lot of people have said that to me. They're like, do you think you're just picky? And you know what? I look back at them and I say, well, why not? Because there's so many of my girlfriends and so many people I see who seriously look like they have married, who have just settled. The guys are very nice, or the girl's not very nice. Like, it's not just the guy. Sometimes the girl's not very nice. Like, why would you want to be with her for? And I just sort of think, like, I have to have my standard. They have to have their standard too, obviously, right? Like, I can't just think, like, okay, it's just me that has standard.
Okay,
Yeah.
just quickly. This is very difficult for you, but what are you offering? What is it
What do you
about
mean?
you?
Oh, as a person in a relationship?
Yeah. What is it you think that is good
honestly,
for?
like, I said this to my friend the other day. Honestly, think I tick all the boxes. Because I know I'm smart. I've got education. I've got a good business going on. I make good money. I'm signed up in my own place. I love to travel. I'm very independent. I know I'm good looking and I've got a good body. Like, I know that I've got all these qualities. But I think if I want to think about qualities that I'm really giving to, on a deep emotional level, I think I honestly, and it's taken me a long time to admit this, I think I'm one of the nicest people you can meet.